Roman 2, Miss Kelly at Bath by Charles Lamb. Dear G, I was thinking yesterday of our old playgoing days, of your and my partiality to Mrs. Jordan, of our disputes as to the relative merits of Dodd and Parsons, and whether Smith or Jack Palmer were the most of a gentleman. The occasion of my falling into this train of thinking was my learning from the newspapers that Miss Kelly is paying the Bath Theatre a visit. Your own theatre, I am sorry to find, is shut up, either from parsimonious feelings or through the influence of principles. 36. This lady has long ranked among the most considerable of our London performers. If there are one or two of greater name, I must impute it to the circumstance that she has never burst upon the town at once in the maturity of her power, which is a great advantage to debutantes who have passed their probationary years in provincial theatres. We do not hear them tuning their instruments, but she has been winning her patient way from the humblest gradations to the eminence which she has now attained, on the self-same boards which supported her first in the slender pretensions of chorus singer. I very much wish that you would go and see her. You will not see Mrs. Jordan, but something else, something on the whole very little, if at all, inferior to that lady in her best days. I cannot hope that PG 218 you will think so. I do not even wish that you should. Our longest remembrances are the most sacred, and I shall revere the prejudice that shall prevent you from thinking quite so favorably of her as I do. I do not well know how to draw a parallel between their distinct manners of acting. I seem to recognize the same pleasantness and nature in both, but Mrs. Jordan's was the carelessness of a child. Her childlike spirit shook off the load of years from her spectators. She seemed one whom care could not come near, a privileged being, sent to teach mankind what it most wants, joyousness. Hence, if we had more unmixed pleasure from her performances, we had, perhaps, less sympathy with them than with those of her successor. This latter lady's is the joy of a freed spirit, escaping from care, as a bird that had been limed. Her smiles, if I may use the expression, seemed saved out of the fire, relics which a good and innocent heart had snatched up as most portable. Her contents are visitors, not inmates. She can lay them by altogether, and when she does so, I am not sure that she is not greatest. She is, in truth, no ordinary tragedian. Her Jericho is the most intense piece of acting which I ever witnessed, the most heartrending spectacle. To see her leaning upon that wretched reed, her lover, the very exhibition of whose character would be a moral offense, but for her clinging and noble credulity, to see her lean upon that flint, and by the strong workings of passion imagine it a god, is one of the most afflicting lessons of the yearnings of the human heart and its sad mistakes that ever was read upon a stage. The whole performance is everywhere African, fervid, glowing. Nor is this anything more than the wonderful force of imagination in this performer. For turn but the scene, and you shall have her come forward in some kindly home-drawn character of an English rustic, a PHBE or a Dinah Cropley, where you would swear that her thoughts had never strayed beyond the precincts of the dairy, or the farm, or her mind known less tranquil passions than she might have learned among the flock, her out-of-door companions. See her again in parts of pure fun, such as the housemaid in the Merry Mourners, where the suspension of the broom in her hand, which she had been delightfully twirling, on unexpectedly encountering her sweetheart in the character of a fellow servant, is quite equal to Mrs. Jordan's cordial inebriation in Nell. I do not know whether I am not speaking it to her PG 219 honor, that she does not succeed in what are called fine lady parts. Our friend C. once observed that no man of genius ever figured as a gentleman. Neither did any woman, gifted with Mrs. Jordan's or Miss Kelly's sensibilities, ever take upon herself to shine as a fine lady, the very essence of this character consisting in the entire repression of all genius and all feeling. To sustain a part of this kind to the life, a performer must be haunted by a perpetual self-reference. She must be always thinking of herself, and how she looks, and how she deports herself in the eyes of the spectators. Whereas the delight of actresses of true feeling, and their chief power, is to elude the personal notice of an audience, to escape into their parts, and hide themselves under the hood of their assumed character. Their most graceful self-possession is in fact a self-forgetfulness, an oblivion alike of self and of spectators. For this reason, your most approved epilogue speakers have been always ladies who have possessed least of this self-forgetting quality, and I think I have seen the amiable actress in question suffering some embarrassment when she has had an address of this sort to deliver, when she found the modest veil of personation, which had half hid her from the audience, suddenly withdrawn, and herself brought without any such qualifying intervention before the public. I should apologize for the length of this letter, if I did not remember the lively interest you used to take in theatrical performances. I am and C and C.